In ancient times, there lived a man named Birbal, known far and wide for his unparalleled wisdom. People from distant lands would seek his counsel, eager to hear the words of a man who seemed to possess the secrets of life itself. These are the stories of Birbal, a man whose simple yet profound insights transformed lives and left a lasting legacy of wisdom. Our first story name is 100 Gold Coins in Birbal. The wisdom of Birbal was unparalleled during the reign of Emperor Akbar. But Akbar's brother-in-law was extremely jealous of him. He asked the emperor to dispense with Birbal's services and appoint him in his place. He gave ample assurance that he would prove to be more efficient and capable than Birbal. Before Akbar could take a decision on this matter, this news reached Birbal. Birbal resigned and left. Akbar's brother-in-law was made the minister in place of Birbal. Akbar decided to test the new minister. He gave 300 gold coins to him and said, "Spend these gold coins such that I get 100 gold coins here in this life, 100 gold coins in the other world and another 100 gold coins neither here nor there." The minister found the entire situation to be a maze of confusion and hopelessness. He spent sleepless nights worrying how he would get himself out of this mess. Thinking in circles was making him go crazy. Eventually, on the advice of his wife, he sought Birbal's help. Birbal said, "Just give me the gold coins. I shall handle the rest." Birbal walked the streets of the city holding the bag of gold coins in his hand. He noticed a rich merchant celebrating his son's wedding. Birbal gave 100 gold coins to him and bowed courteously saying, "Emperor Akbar sends you his good wishes and blessings for the wedding of your son. Please accept the gift he has sent." The merchant felt honored that the king had sent a special messenger with such a precious gift. He honored Birbal and gave him a large number of expensive gifts and a bag of gold coins as a return gift for the king. Next, Birbal went to the area of the city where the poor people lived. There he bought food and clothing in exchange for 100 gold coins and distributed them in the name of the emperor. When he came back to town, he organized a concert of music and dance. He spent 100 gold coins on it. The next day Birbal entered Akbar's darbar and announced that he had done all that the king had asked his brother-in-law to do. The emperor wanted to know how he had done it. Birbal repeated the sequences of all the events and then said, "The money I gave to the merchant for the wedding of his son, you have got back while on this earth. The money I spent on buying food and clothing for the poor, you will get it in the other world. The money I spent on the musical concert, you will get neither here nor there." Akbar's brother-in-law understood his mistake and resigned. Birbal got his place back. Moral: the money you spend on friends is returned or reciprocated in some form or the other. The money spent on charity gets converted into blessings from God which will be your eternal property. The money spent on pleasures is just frittered away. So when you spend your money, think a little, if not a lot. Now our next story is Birbal's Khikri Rice. On a cold winter day, Akbar and Birbal took a walk along the lake. A thought came to Birbal that a man would do anything for money. He expressed his feelings to Akbar. Akbar then put his finger into the lake and immediately removed it because he shivered with cold. Akbar said, "I don't think a man would spend an entire night in the cold water of this lake for money." Birbal replied, "I am sure I can find such a person." Akbar then challenged Birbal into finding such a person and said that he would reward the person with 1,000 gold coins. Birbal searched far and wide until he found a poor man who was desperate enough to accept the challenge. The poor man entered the lake and Akbar had guards posted near him to make sure that he really did as promised. The next morning the guards took the poor man to Akbar. Akbar asked the poor man if he had indeed spent the night in the lake. The poor man replied that he had. Akbar then asked the poor man how he managed to spend the night in the lake. The poor man replied that there was a street lamp nearby and he kept his attention affixed on the lamp and away from the cold. Akbar then said that there would be no reward as the poor man had survived the night in the lake by the warmth of the street lamp. The poor man went to Birbal for help. The next day, Birbal did not go to court. The king, wondering where he was, sent a messenger to his home. The messenger came back saying that Birbal would come once his khikri rice was cooked. The king waited hours but Birbal did not come. Finally the king decided to go to Birbal's house and see what he was up to. He found Birbal sitting on the floor near some burning twigs and a bowl filled with khikri rice hanging 5 feet above the fire. The king and his attendants couldn't help but laugh. Akbar then said to Birbal, "How can the khikri rice be cooked if it's so far away from the fire?" Birbal answered, "The same way the poor man received heat from a street lamp that was more than a furlong away." The king understood his mistake and gave the poor man his reward. Now let's move to our next story, which is even more interesting. Our next story is, Where Are the Other Two Fools? Birbal's intelligence never ceased to surprise the Emperor of Agra, Akbar. So, the emperor used to give Birbal interesting tasks as he wanted to see how he would finish them with his wit. Once, Birbal was asked by Akbar to search for fools in the kingdom and summon them in front him. At first, Birbal was confused, but later felt amused. He said, "Your Majesty, I'll do as you say. However, I need a few days' time as the world is no short of foolish people. Thus, I want to present the best of them before you." Akbar agreed to Birbal's request. As usual, Birbal set out to fulfill the wish of his emperor. While he was strolling in the palace to look for the first fool, he saw a man carrying a plate full of things, such as sweets, fruits etc. Birbal, filled with curiosity, asked the man for whom he was taking all those things. The man said, "My wife left me for another man, and now she is blessed with a baby boy. I am taking all these things for her." The very next moment, Birbal thought that he had got the first fool. So, he asked him to come before the emperor the next morning. The man agreed to come. Then, Birbal moved ahead in search of the second fool. This time, he had got out of the palace. Far in the fields he saw a man trying to ride a buffalo while carrying a bundle of grass on his head. He approached the man and asked, "Hey man, I saw you clumsily riding the buffalo. What is the matter? Why don't you tie the bundle of grass on her back?" The man in a very concerned tone replied, "Sir, the matter is that my buffalo is pregnant. And it would be very insensitive of me if I dumped the bundle at her back. That's why I am carrying it." The reply was enough for Birbal to decide the second fool. So, like the first one, he told this man to reach the court the next morning. The man nodded in agreement and left. The next day, Birbal presented both the fools before the emperor. Akbar listened their stories and gave out a hearty laugh. Then, he asked Birbal where the rest two were. Birbal replied, "With no offense, Your Majesty, the third fool is you, as you directed me to do such a task of looking for fools, and the fourth one is I, for acting on your directions." At Birbal's answer, Akbar couldn't help laughing and appreciate his minister's ready hit. Now our next story is the story of the four donkeys. The story of the four donkeys. A very motivating story. Once a man had 4 donkeys and he wanted to sell them. He was taking them to the market so that he could get a good price for them. It was a very hot day, and on the way to the market there was a river, so the man decided to bathe in the river. He decided to tie the donkeys while he took a dip, but he realized that he had only 3 ropes. He saw a farmer passing by and asked him if he had a rope to tie his 4th donkey. The farmer told him that he did not have a rope, but he had a suggestion for the owner of the donkeys. He said, "Tie the 3 donkeys to a tree with the ropes that you have and let the 4th donkey see you tie them, and after tying the 3 donkeys pretend to tie the 4th one." He did exactly as he was told and went to bathe in the river, and when he came out of the river he was pleasantly surprised that the 4th donkey had not moved from the spot. He thanked the farmer and untied the 3 donkeys and patted them so that they would move. They followed him. When they patted the 4th donkey, he did not move. The owner of the donkeys was bewildered and asked the farmer for help. The farmer asked him to untie the 4th donkey. The owner seemed bewildered and said, "I haven't even tied him." The farmer asked, "Only you know it, but does the donkey know it?" So, the man pretended to untie the 4th donkey and then patted him, and the donkey began to move. The moral of the story is that we all are tied by imaginary ropes which don't exist. We limit ourselves in what we can achieve by creating these blocks in our minds. As you approach your goals with confidence and focus, these imaginary ropes will disappear and you will be able to achieve your goals.